All right, it is time for another limited time series, and this one is for the 2019 edition of Porsche 935. The car itself is worth 850 gold. It's a new car, so it is only featured in a single bonus series in Legends section of the Road Collection. You'll find it at the very far end of that Legend section. So, and it is a bonus series, meaning it's one of the smaller box series. So, yeah, so that is that. This series will run through the 12th of October, so that is next Monday. And of course, that's when the next version 8.8, is going to be released. So this is the last sort of the special event, if you will, for the current version. All right, so yeah, this car, by completing this series, you will win the car plus 75 gold and 250,000 racing dollars. Yeah, and you will actually spending them to upgrading this car to meet the PR requirement, of course. According to their released information, the PR requirement for the limited time series is 88.8. So let's, before we get started, here I am going to, oh, look at that. We have instant upgrade and instant service offer currently going on the limited time series car for next 3 hours, and I am actually not going to be able to run through this series right away within the next 3 hours. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quickly restore this, which will sort of bypass the timer. It's not going to run until next time I reopen the game, like restart. So let's see. It's taking a while for the profile restore. There we go. It's been restored, and that should allow me to buy myself some time. Right. So before I do anything here, let me collect my rewards here. Since if I upgrade my car temporarily, just to show you guys what's up with the PR requirement and how much it costs, then this thing here will reset, and I will not get the 9 gold that I've earned. I would most likely just get the minimum, which is 3 gold. So let me collect this real quick, and then let's see, what am I ranked at? 3,500 or so globally, and amongst my friends, 13th. All right, that's good enough, at least on this account. And then I will do a quick cloud save. So it'll remember that I've collected that online multiplayer reward, and then we can hop in to the championship, the limited time series for the 2019 edition of Porsche 935, because we do have the old one in the road collection section, so that this is a different car. All right, so Porsche 935 Championship, earn a 2019 Porsche 935 by 100% completing this limited time series. A loving homage to the endurance legend of the late 70s, right, which we also have that car in the game as well, powered by the same engine as the GT2 RS, which is another car that is actually featured in the same bonus series as this car. The Peak Porsche Performance, I think is what it's called, if I remember correctly. But all right, so here is the breakdown of the 75 gold total. So 8 gold for first 25% complete, which would be at tier 4 completion, right? And then tier 8 upon winning 2 gold trophies, you get to collect the 50% completion reward, which is another 15 gold plus 50,000 racing dollars if you're counting that. And then tier 12, upon completing winning a single gold trophy, you will unlock the 75% reward, which is 22 extra gold. And then, of course, finally, the 100% completion will get you the remaining 30 gold plus the car. And if the past is any indicator of the future, or even the present in this case, the chances are 25% completion will require some gold upgrades. All right, and it's a usual 15 tier 45 event limited time series. So let's unlock this series with the gold to confirm the PR requirement and pretend we won the car immediately. And if you don't own the other cars that's featured in the bonus series, Peak Porsche Performance, which are the 2018 911 GT2 RS and the 2019 GT2 RS Club Sport, plus this one, then upon winning this car, you will unlock that bonus series. Right, so let's see. The base PR 75.3 is where it starts. There are a total of 28 upgrades available, which is pretty typical. And let's check out the last tier cup, which is going to be at the Monza Junior course. 7-lapper, and the PR requirement is 88.8. All right, so let's see what we got, how many upgrades it's going to take to get us there. Most likely 21, 3 upgrades the board, right? Across the board, 3 upgrades across the board is what I meant. All right, and looking at the upgrades available here. We got 5 upgrades on engine, and we don't have 5 on body, which I feel like I am getting a little ripped off. The reason why I say that is when we have extra upgrade available on body, that's that last tier 5 is usually a racing dollar upgrade, which means we get one more racing dollar upgrade rather than gold upgrade. But since 28 upgrades total is kind of same as a lot of the other cars in the game, we have a lot of tier, like 4 tier categories, like everything except for exhaust is all 4 tiers. Well, and engine has 5, which means we are expected to spend more gold if we want to go beyond limited time series, I suppose. That's what I'm gathering here. So okay, so tier 1 should be all racing dollar upgrades though, starting with the engine. And tier 1 looks like it's going to be 12 hours, which means tier 2 should be all gold upgrades, which are immediate, and then tier 3 upgrades will be racing dollars again, but they would most likely be 1 day R&D time. And then tier 4 most likely all gonna be gold upgrades again. At least that's my expectation, with the final tier 5 only available on engine is most likely going to be the 2-day R&D time racing dollar upgrade. So before we get to that part, let's get these tier 1 upgrades going. So engine and then drivetrain 74,200. All right, body is 58,900, usually the cheapest one that deals with the top speed and the acceleration. Suspension 68,000, and exhaust is fairly comparable to suspension. Yeah, 67,200, so that's pretty close. And the brakes 52,000, which is always the cheapest upgrade. And then finally tires and wheels 62,400. All right, and let's spend some gold and see if we get it to 79.8. So that is the PR boost of 4.5. And more importantly, let's check back in and see if we have any more racing dollar upgrades on tier 2 upgrades in any of these categories. Engine, I didn't expect. Okay, 75 for engine, 70 for drivetrain. Those are all gold. 55 gold for body. Okay, this is not looking very promising so far. 65 gold for suspension. Exhaust, another 65 gold. Brakes, 50 gold. So, tires and wheels, another 60 gold. So, yeah, so I guess racing dollar upgrades only is gonna get your PR up to 79.8 here. And the tier 2 upgrades are all gonna be gold. By the way, the total cost of tier 1 racing dollar upgrades comes out to be 462,400 racing dollars. And of course, there was a 12-hour wait. So let's get on with this gold upgrades here. See how far we go. And it does unlock the tier 3 one-day R&D racing dollar upgrade as I was anticipating. All right, and another 70 gold for drivetrain, same scenario there. 55 gold for body upgrade. Suspension is going to be 65 as we checked. Body exhaust was another 65. Brakes 50, and finally tires and wheels 60, and that is a total of 440 gold that just got spent. Brings the PR up to 84.4. All right, and let's get on with the tier 3 upgrades, which is all they're all racing dollar upgrades. So 179,300 racing dollar upgrade for engine. All right, drivetrain 166,800. Bodies 132,500. So yeah, this is looking like a legend class car in terms of its cost, even in racing dollar upgrades. 153,000 for suspension. Exhaust 151,200 racing dollars. Brakes 116,900 racing dollars. And finally, tires and wheels 140,300 racing dollars. Let's see. I am gonna need another 4.4 PR points to bring my PR up to 88.8, which is what's required. I'm expecting that's gonna be the case. And oh, we have a 0.1 access PR point. Look at that, 88.9. But that really does not make any difference because it's not going to make a difference in terms of, like cost wise. You cannot get 0.1 PR point less upgrade by taking any other route of upgrades here, I don't think. So 3 upgrades across the board, 21 upgrades total for the cost of 440 gold. Those were the tier 2 upgrades, and 1,502,400 racing dollar upgrades, tier 1 and tier 3 combined. Right, and that'll be taking 1 day, 12 hours if you don't take advantage of that instant upgrades available at the beginning of the event, the first 3 hours, right? Unless you do what I'm doing, which is just simply restore the game. As long as you have a restore point that is relatively recent, so you don't end up going back several days and lose out on whatever you've earned in between, right? Now, with that being said, tier 4 upgrades I'm expecting is going to be all gold. All right, so 170 gold for engine, drivetrain another 160, 125 for body, which is shameful. Suspension's 145 gold. Exhaust is tapped out already. Brakes 110 gold, and tires and wheels 135 gold. So yeah, tier 4 upgrades are all gold, as I have suspected. Now, if you want to, I guess, so that's how you're gonna win this car. So and there's 75 gold reward. So the net cost if you take away 75 from the cost of 440, net cost is 365 gold to win this car with the 21 upgrades already on board. And with the PR of 88.9 that you get, you should be able to complete 75% in the bonus series this car's featured in, the Peak Porsche Performance, which means there's another 46 gold available to kind of recoup. So, it brings down your, I guess, net cost down to closer to 320 or 319 exactly. So, and if you want to 100% complete that bonus series, you're going to have to bring this car's PR up to 92.6, because this is the only car that can actually go up to meet the PR requirement. The other two cars, 911 GT2 RS and the 911 GT2 RS Club Sport, they don't quite go that high in terms of their maxed PR. So this is the only car that can hit the max PR of 92.6, because this car can go up to 93.3 according to FireMonkey. So let's, let's check that out too while we're talking about it. How much more would it cost? So my guess is you'll probably have to max out the engine. So 170 more gold here. And then, yep, as I expected, the Tier 5 upgrade is a 2-day racing dollar upgrade, 403,500. So we'll get that, which brings the PR up to 90.3. And now it's just a matter of picking on the cheapest upgrades to bring the PR up to 92.6. So brakes, usually cheapest one. So that is another 110 gold added. And then body is probably the next cheapest one. All right, 125. That brings the PR up to 91.4. We need another 1.2 PR point. Suspension brings PR up to 92. Drivetrain, 92.1, but that's pretty pricey, isn't it? 160 gold. And this is the, out of the three, tires and wheels is going to be the cheaper one of the three. So 135 gold brings the PR up to 92. And then between these two remaining upgrades, let's see if suspension brings our PR up to 92.6. And it does. So, yeah, I guess that is the upgrade tree for basically max out everything except for the last gold upgrade in Drivetrain for the total cost of 1,125 gold to be able to 100% complete the bonus series this car's featured in, Peak Porsche Performance. And then, oh, look at that. The maxed out PR is actually 93.4, not 93.3. So their published information is off by a 0.1 PR point. And of course, maxing out with another 160 gold added to max out this car, it'll cost you 1,285 gold. So yeah, and yeah, with that racing dollar upgrade, its racing dollar upgrade cost would be now 1,905,900 racing dollars. Anyway, so not cheap. Anything that goes over 1,000 gold to upgrade, right? Yee. Is this car customizable? Yes, it is. And we do have some multiple, this is the original, isn't it? And then there's a white finish. All right, we're not going to worry about that for the time being. All right, so that is the upgrade tree information and the cost for both this limited time series and the bonus series this car's featured in. Now let's just quickly run through the actual event itself, see if we see anything that might cause us a bit of trouble. All right, Tier 1 Autocross, and it's going to be a Daytona road course. All right, Speed Snap at Melbourne, and the Tier 1 Cup is going to be at Silverstone Bridge Circuit. Single lap, as always, no PR requirement there. Tier 2, we got Elimination at Hockenheim Grand Prix. Head-to-head at Suzuka East, just a single lap. And Tier 2, we got Cup at Mazda Raceway, 2 laps, and the PR requirement is 76.6, so obviously you do need some of that Tier 1 racing dollar upgrades to get past Tier 2. And Tier 3, we got Hunter at the Brickyard Road Course, Endurance at the Mount Panorama, and the Cup for Tier 3 is going to be at the Leipzig Porsche Test Track Dynamic Circuit. Quick 2 laps with a PR requirement of 77.8. All right, so it's already looking like Tier 4 is going to require some gold, right? All right, so Tier 4 speed record is going to be at Berlin. We got drag race at Red Bull Ring. And then the Cup at Spa is going to require PR 78.8. Oh, okay, so perhaps, I guess there is some free gold to be won. Yeah, the 25% completion is possible without getting any gold upgrades, it seems like. Oh, that's a good news. All right, so just a single lap Cup at Spa. All right, moving on. So yeah, on my third account, I may actually get those Tier 1 upgrades and just go through to pick up that 25% completion reward from this limited time series. Isn't that awfully generous of them? All right, that's a surprise. Okay, moving on. Tier 5, we got head-to-head at Le Mans 24-hour circuit. Boy, single lap, but that's going to be an endurance always. All right, then we got Elimination at Catalunya National. And then Cup for Tier 5 is going to be at Dubai Hill Circuit. 4 laps with a PR 79.7 is what's required. All right. Moving on, Tier 6, we got another endurance, this time at Monza Road Course. Autocross at Nürburgring Grand Prix. Have we had 2 autocrosses so far? Is that it? At the beginning, we had one at Daytona. And then we didn't have one until just now, right? Tier 6. All right, so both Nürburgring and Daytona autocrosses are kind of long. They usually take, by long, I mean they take closer to like 50 seconds to complete, usually, for most cars. We'll see how well this car handles. Anyway, Tier 6 Cup is going to be at Austin Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix Circuit. 2 laps, PR 80.6 is required. So that's the first tier that's going to require actually gold upgrade on this car. All right, Tier 7, we got Speed Snap at Brands Hatch. Speed Record at the Brickyard Road Course again. And the Cup at Suzuka West. 3 lap Cup with a PR 81.4 required. And yeah, if you're running unserviced, then Speed Snap and Speed Record, both of them can be a little tricky with the unserviced car. Brands Hatch and Brickyard, both courses can be a little tricky. Of course, the way around it is just turn around at the beginning for Speed Record, but you cannot do that with a Speed Snap. So, you know, either you train the bots by keep losing and not finishing on the podium. If you win a trophy, then you're not going to be able to slow down the bots typically. So if you're going to lose, like lose big time. Don't lose by a little bit. That's like the worst in terms of bot training. All right, moving on. Tier 8, this is the 50% completion tier. We got drag race at Circuit of the Americas, Grand Prix Circuit, head-to-head at Hockenheim National. And that's going to be a single lapper. And the Cup is going to be at, once again, Leipzig Porsche Test Track. This time, long on-road circuit, 3 lapper with a PR 82.1 required. So that's a little bit longer race. All right, Tier 9, we got Endurance at Silverstone International, Autocross at Spielberg Red Bull Ring Grand Prix, and the Cup at Bugatti Circuit. 3 laps, PR 89 or 82.9 required. And then Tier 10, we got Speed Snap at Monza Road Course. All right, Elimination at Daytona Road Course, and the Cup at Nürburgring Sprint Circuit. 4-lapper, PR 83.6 required. Moving on, Tier 11, we got Hunter at Dubai Grand Prix. So that's a full lap. Drag race, always a question mark, right? Circuit of the Catalunya Circuit, Grand Prix Circuit, and then Cup at Down Under Bathurst on Panorama. 3 laps with a PR 84.4 required. And that will get you to 75% completion tier. Tier 12, we got Speed Record at Brands Hatch, Endurance at Melbourne, and the Cup at the Street Circuit, Berlin. 5 laps, PR 85.1 required. So we'll see. Those street circuits can be a little tricky. All right, Tier 13, we got head-to-head at Mazda Raceway, just a single lapper. Elimination at Spa, and the Cup is going to be at Suzuka Grand Prix. 3 laps, PR 85.9 is what's required. And Tier 14, we got Hunter at Bugatti Circuit, Speed Record at Hockenheim Short, and the Cup at Silverstone Grand Prix. 3 laps, PR 86.8 is required. And that brings us to the final tier, Tier 15, Endurance at Nürburgring Grand Prix, Speed Snap at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix, and the final Cup, Monza Junior, as we checked out earlier, the 7-lapper with a PR 88.8 required, which will cost you, once again, 440 gold total. 75 of which you do get back. So anyway, that will do it for this limited time series overview. So if you'd like, you can tag along for the next set of videos where I'll be essentially running through the limited time series. So stay tuned for that, and that will do it for me. So take care, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.